Good morning. It's August 21st or Wednesday, 2019. I've been channeling in Martin Luther King. I was going to say I consider him, well, he is one of the saints, you know, who spent his blood for us. And because I'm going to have to make a speech, and I'm not going to get into that too much until after I do it, but I've been prompted to make this statement. And basically, it's from Buddhist and Christian scriptures, and I'm going to ask my guide and Martin Luther King, give thanks and praise, blessed God, Jesus, Buddha, please come in and help me with this. This is a Buddhist teaching. If one protects their family, with their family, they're protected. If you protect your neighbor, then you're protected in your neighborhood. If you protect your community, you're protected in your community. So on your nation, and if you protect the world, you're protected in your world. Now, a Bible verse says, when the leaders are corrupt, corruption is all around. It's in the Psalms. And I'm going to say that abuse and discrimination always flow from a position of power over something else. In other words, the same as we abuse the planet by taking out more than we need, the same way we abuse others by extracting what we feel we need from them, by abusing them, predatory techniques, predatory lending, selling alcohol and cigarettes, which I have nothing against people drinking. If you want to drink, drink. But I feel that all drugs should be legalized. And also, I spoke to someone yesterday, and this is the truth, that they did studies, and due to the evidence, drug use, the amount of people who are addicted to drugs does not depend on the availability of drugs. It depends on the stress levels. In other words, junkies in war, and I'm going to say junkies, and I'm not judging, that's just a name, I'm older. I was a junkie at one time, so no judgment. Anyway, in Vietnam, people were hooked on, pure heroin over there, and that's a hardcore addiction to kick. However, and those proponents who said, you can't be cured of drug addiction said, well, they'll all stay on drugs, because it was, I think it was over half. I'm not sure the exact number, but, I'm not going to quote anything, I'm not sure. Well, I'm hearing 60 to 80%. Okay, so, and I knew some guys who were hardcore over there. Now, the drug addiction level went back down to the same, which is 6 or 7%, after they were relieved of the stress of war. So the finding of that study is that stress causes drug addiction. So that means if you legalized all drugs and reduce the economic stress, I'm thinking mostly off of people, which is driven by our banking system, and take the money out of law enforcement, which is just another form of oppression for the banking system, and these idiots, politicians that, now what I have really wanted to say, my guide's coming in, is that we separate ourselves as a community. And so, like, I'm transgender. People have asked me about how. I said, well, I was born that way. I don't know what to tell you. To me, it's all just a label. I don't ask people their sexuality, really, unless I know them and somehow it's come up or whatever. It's just not important to me, and I'm not into the pronoun thing. I more just want to see people come from the heart. I prefer to be called she, but, even women call each other dude sometimes, so, it's confusing, I know, but the labels are always confusing. That's the problem. So separating ourselves as a community, and I see this all the time, which, we have charity dinners. We have the churches put on charity dinners. And to me, now, don't get me wrong, it's great. I eat at them. I make sure I eat at them to see what's going on. And, because a lot of these places, and the ones in Jackson here are really great. And the Interfaith Shelter, I'll say, does. People try their best there, but there's just too much going on and too dysfunctional of people running it for it to be successful at empowering people to get out of their situation. In fact, they threw me out on the street. They were really abusive towards me. Even though they thought they were trying to accommodate me, there was just too many abusive people telling them too much bullshit, everybody getting manipulated. And so as a community, okay, I see we have a church where they served dinner with church, which was fantastic. I mean, I loved it. I took communion, everything. And, but see, now it's like the church people talking to the people who are homeless as if they're separate, And the reality is, to build a community, you have to be a part of the community. These people who are homeless, some of them will give you the shirt off their backs, man. And I ain't even joking. I mean, not at all. And I've probably done it more than once. I know I offer people what I have, and you would say I don't have a lot. I don't have any money at all right now. Anyhow, back to the thing about community. Okay. If you go to the dinner, and I saw someone who said they didn't want to eat because they didn't feel like, they didn't want to take the food out of anybody's hands. And I thought to myself, man, how separating of a thing can you say? I'll tell you honestly, I felt like, well, what are you, too good to eat, with people? But the reality of it is that none of us is that important that if we eat, that it's going to take the food out of somebody's mouth. In fact, they had the food there. It was delicious, and we could have had a nice meal together. Instead, it's me sitting with a guy who doesn't feel as if he's the same as me, in other words. truth is, you know, I've traveled a lot. I've been all over the damn place, man, and I'm well cultured. And it's nothing to me to accept food from somebody in a good way. Now, the places where they're abusive and predatory, I don't even go in those. It's not about the food to me, and I know I can always get food. Um, but this is what drives our system of lack. I mean, now, if you're having a community dinner, have it for the church and have the damn church, you know? Uh, if you're going to, and I'm not saying nobody does any of this stuff, you know, they do what they can, and some of them are much better than others at it, you know, but I'm just, I always lose track of what's going on. I get sidetracked into all this stuff. Anyway, the teachings. Gaga, what are the teachings here? Okay, he's saying I really said them at the beginning of the video, so that's the important part. It's just me expounding on my ideas of what's going on here. Unreal. This is the second marble I've found today. I'm not sure where those washed from or got dropped from. The other one made me think of Saturn. What's that, Jupiter? Anyway, what do they say? You can hold the universe in your hand. Alright, well, I'll show you the other marble I got. I was talking to the crows when I found these, actually. But I guess you can see that. Sorry about some of my videos. I'm not the best video. I'm pretty relaxed here now. I guess I've gotten off track in this video. Masters, anyway, okay, what I was going to say is, you know, I trained from people like Martin Luther King and Gandhi, and, you know, Martin Luther King was shot in my lifetime. And, oh yeah, I was going to say I was at a community event, a peace rally. And I was standing, you know, kind of back, and I was enjoying myself. I'd been dancing. Later on, they even had some free hot dogs. Those were great, and I had snacks, and I was eating and dancing. And anyway, I was looking around, and I'm thinking, now where are all the rich white people at? And you know, the mayor, he shows up at the little support groups or whatever I don't even know, man, but he didn't even show up. And I mean, that's like practically on the same block. In fact, it is on exactly the same block as that's his office, the mayor's office. And I even asked the guys to read a prayer, and they didn't let me read it, you know, just a short prayer. I was even going to show it to the guy. And I just see it as a separation of community. And also I saw them, they were talking, okay, well, we've got people here that will help us with money and resources. That's who they were appealing to, right? And in my mind now, I'm thinking, but the greatest resource is the human. You know, us, you. Yeah, that's the reality of it. You are the resource. And while people looking at their money, counting their money, building their self-esteem off of money, where their self-esteem has gone, down the pot. This money that we have has gone to less than 10% of its value in my lifetime. Why do you think you don't have a house? You know? And if you do have a house, you're doing something wrong. No, I shouldn't say that. There is no right or wrong. It's just you're not in a line. Yeah, I do get judgmental in my own self. I'm hearing my guy again. No, no. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be judgmental. Obviously, if you have a house, that's fine for you, and that's where you belong. But the idea that having to um, fit into the system is what drives people into death, basically. I guess my guide's filling me in now. Yeah, I was having a long conversation with the crows, man, and then I found the marble. You know, I take everything as a sign. Yeah, I let these videos go too long, I guess, but I'm trying to get all the points in since I got a little sidetracked. Oh, my guy's saying that sounds good. I feel a little sleepy. Yeah, it's like 7 in the morning. Maybe I should go make another espresso. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, well, everyone have a great day. I love you, I love you, I love you. All. In the name of the Father, and the Son, the Holy Spirit, and the Mother Mary, I am the keeper of violet fire. I send you violet love and rainbow light for healing. Bless you.